The New York Rangers versus New Jersey Devils series has been absolutely electric so far, but the Devils had home ice advantage, and the Rangers have won both Game 1 and Game 2, and now go back to MSG with the chance to sweep. But we're going to be breaking down this series so far, why in the first two games New Jersey and New York has been such a big difference between the two, and why this start for the Devils is pretty much catastrophic for their series chances. Of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more hockey content just like this, and watch till the end for the complete breakdown. Now, heading into the playoffs, I was going back and forth between the Devils and Rangers, trying to figure out who I was going to pick to get out of round one, and I ultimately decided with the New Jersey Devils that they would win this series in 7. And I knew it would be a close affair. I knew it would be back and forth and everything, but I assumed the New Jersey Devils would start out incredibly well, bring some great intensity and speed and keep the skating high and really just bring that amazing pressure to the Rangers where they might be a little bit slower, and even though it might work out maybe later in the series, the Devils especially would start out maybe with a 2-0 series lead and would really put the pressure on the Rangers' throats. It was the exact opposite of that. Not only did the Devils lose both Game 1 and Game 2, they got absolutely stomped. Both games with a final score of 5-1 New York. And both games, even though there was maybe some hope, a little bit of time in between, both games had long stretches where the game was practically over. And having that type of performance on home ice is just genuinely baffling. Now, the vibes for the Devils were kind of off a little bit from the start. They got an immediate power play here, and right at the start of the first period in Game 1, with the chance to really do something, but the power play was horrendous, and the cycle was non-existent, and the creativity was horrible. And because of that, just a few minutes later, not even 5 minutes into the game, Vladimir Tarasenko absolutely rifles a shot. Just the second shot of the game, but it's a situation where the Devils just completely gave up. Vanacek let that goal by, and it's 1-0 New York just 5 minutes in. When we talk about the momentum changes and the swings and controlling pace, something that the Devils are typically very good at, but it's something that in these first two games, they have absolutely failed in controlling. Just in these first two games at least, and again, this could change later on, but the Rangers have set the tempo. They have made the Devils completely erase their game, and even in just the first few minutes, we saw that in Game 1. But of course, that would not be it, as the Rangers were putting on the pressure on New Jersey. They got a power play here. Fox connects to Kreider, and it's 2-0 New York. Now, we skip ahead here to the second period, and pretty late in the second, the Devils are starting to finally get some chances, but the Rangers are starting to claw back a little bit here, and Adam Fox connects right there to Ryan Lindgren, but an absolute snipe by Lindgren. Vanacek not on the posts, and it's 3-0 New York in New Jersey. Now, for the rest of the second period as well as the third, it was mostly the same for the Devils. Sure, they got a few chances here or there, but the Rangers were still able to create chances and were still able to set the tempo. Obviously, score effects here, being up 3-0, the Rangers are going to be playing a little bit more conservative, but even so, the Devils were not getting into the slot. They were not getting into those dirty areas, and the Rangers completely knocked them off their confidence and off their game. And with a power play in the middle of the third period, another connection, Chris Kreider, 4-0 New York. Now, with a few minutes to go in the third, Jack Hughes gets a penalty shot and a pretty nice goal here, but this is the most Chris Paul has a huge three to cut the lead down to 42 moment of all time. And to make things worse for the Devils, Filipino with the empty net with 2 minutes to go. Jack Hughes with too much individuality gives up the puck, and then Filipino on a pretty good amount of space shoots it down, 5-1 New York in Game 1. Now we go on to Game 2, where the Rangers were starting off pretty well here in the first, but the Devils get a power play, and with the second unit, with just a few seconds left, Palat puts it on net, getting the loose rebound is Erik Haula, and finally the Devils have scored a non-penalty shot goal. But this felt huge. It felt like the Devils were going to turn a corner because of this goal, and we're finally starting to find their rhythm just a little bit. Even if it wasn't 5-on-5, it was a glimmer of hope, and hopefully a start to a game where maybe they can get it done and get this series tied 1-1 going back to New York. But you know how this ends, don't you? Now, the Devils waited until the second period to be a little bit embarrassing here, but Vladimir Tarasenko, who's been so clutch for the Rangers in different moments, gets the puck here from Adam Fox, and it's a great exchange, and Tarasenko fires it down the ice, and Vanacek just can't see it. But Tarasenko with another clutch goal, and it's tied 1-1. Speaking of players that keep getting clutch goals, it's a Rangers power play, and when it's a Rangers power play, you know who's going to score on it. A shot from the point, Chris Kreider deflection, right in the middle of the second, the turning point of the game. It's 2-1 New York. And the Devils keep giving the Rangers opportunities to ice it. Another power play with 4 minutes left. Kane comes in and Kreider just tips that beautifully. And Vanacek can't get much of a piece on it. 3-1 for the Rangers. Now the embarrassment just keeps on coming as Jesper Bratt gets destroyed and dunked on by Patrick Kane. And he absolutely dangles it in for the 4-1 goal. Showtime, huge goal there. And a 3-goal cushion again for the Rangers. Again! In a third period, the Devils should have been coming back in. Should have been applying pressure. Should have been their most intense. Here is Jesper Bratt just doing whatever. Just playing like it's game 19 of the regular season. Yet it's the most important game of the season for the Devils. And they lay an egg just like that. And then, to make it even funnier, our boy Capo Caco, who now has more points than Jack Hughes in the 2023 playoffs, gets an absolutely amazing goal there and ices the game. 5-1 New York. Capo Caco officially better. We all know this. For legal reasons, I'm joking, but am I? But to summarize these games as bad for the Devils would be a massive understatement. It is simply embarrassing what the Devils have done in this series so far. And obviously there is always still time until that 4th win happens for the Rangers. But with the way it's looking like right now, and even though the Devils are a fantastic road team, the Rangers have all the confidence. They have all the momentum. They've shut down the Devils in so many ways. And even after game 1, Lindy Ruff was already making huge changes, taking out Jonas Siegenthaler and all these different guys. The same exact result happened. Even when Lindy Ruff tried to shake up the roster, the same exact score happened. So the Devils are in a position where no matter what changes they make, they might not be confident in it working out, but just the style of the game, what the Devils have been in the regular season compared to now, all that confidence, all that mojo, all that concisiveness, all that playing as a team, it's no longer there right now. And just the individuality has kind of spurred up. Where has Nico Hischier been? I mean, Jack Hughes had his goal, but besides that, there's just been a lot of just trying to do everything by himself, which this is the NHL playoffs. You're not going to be able to get away with that unless you're actually Connor McDavid, and even he's ran into some problems like that. You need to be as complete as a team can be. And the Rangers have shown that they are the much better team up to this point, and the much more complete team. And the much more complete team wins every single series, ladies and gentlemen. But this is the thing, is that I thought that inexperience, I thought some of that would creep into round 2. I didn't know how much of that would factor into this series and how much we'd see, because I thought starting out in the playoffs, especially with how solid the Devils were in the last couple of weeks, that we'd see New Jersey play fantastic in the first few games. Maybe peter out a little bit as time goes on. Maybe get a little bit lucky in a game 7, perhaps, like I predicted. But I thought most of this inexperience and this being shaken up out of nowhere type of play would happen in the second round versus maybe a team like the New York Islanders or a team like the Carolina Hurricanes. But from game 1, from the first 5 minutes, it felt like for New Jersey, this series was over. And that type of play is just simply inexcusable. But again, it goes back to the experience, which, let's be honest, for New Jersey, they just don't have, especially compared to New York. But really, I think that experience has been a major turning point. You look at the entire roster, everything is more experienced for the New York Rangers. With the goaltending, Igor Shesterkin has been way more composed than Vitek Vanacek has been, and we've seen Vanacek lay egg after egg. The coaching, I mean, Lindy Ruff is obviously experienced, but he has been getting out-coached in every single aspect compared to Gerard Gallant so far. But the forward group, the defense especially, there's just so much more balance with the Rangers right now. And that was something that I didn't quite expect to see so early on in this series. But credit where it's due to Gerard Gallant and his coaching staff for getting this Rangers team ready, because it wasn't looking like they were going to be perfectly ready. And I never expected them to be, even if they were to win the series. But now they have a 2-0 lead going back to MSG, and that's about as good as you can get. Now, it's not a hot take to say this or anything, but Game 3, I think, truly decides this series. Whoever wins Game 3, I think, will be the winner in the end. Obviously, if the Rangers, if they win, I mean, choking a 3-0 lead would be pretty crazy. I don't see that happening. But if the Devils were to win Game 3 and get a huge boost on the road, especially in MSG, already being one of the best road teams in the league, then that could spark some motivation. That could spark some momentum that New Jersey desperately needs right now. And they could still obviously lose the series if they win Game 3, obviously. But I feel like that type of momentum on the road has been huge for just their success the entire year. And that could spark something if they were to get it done in Game 3. But just the start and what we've seen with this series so far, the complete opposite of what I expected. But again, credit where it's due to the Rangers, because they've come out to play while the Devils have come by to sit on the bench and not do too much. But let us know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of this Devils and Rangers series so far? What are your predictions for the rest of it? Do you see the Rangers sweeping? Do you see the Devils still winning this series? Let us know down below. Of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more hockey videos just like this every single day. We got you covered, and every bit helps on the road to 70K. So thank you guys so much for coming by and hopefully subscribing. And of course, to everybody, all the hockey fans you guys know online, especially the Rangers and Devils fans out there, for the series breakdown so far, and click on this card for all of my playoff talk right in one playlist. Have a fantastic day, y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.